Hello, everybody. Welcome back after a very, very long break. This is another episode of the One Piece Madness for chapter 1069. We unfortunately missed 1067 and 1068, so for all the one viewers who were really looking forward to those two episodes, apologies. My sister was getting married, and I had a lot of stuff going on, let's just say, on my plate family, job, everything. I think it's finally calmed down now. Even if it hasn't calmed down, I'm trying to make time for you all and for Hatem. He's been on my ass for the last 2 weeks. So we need to get this one out. And 1069 was a great time to start again. How are you, man? It's been a minute.
Um, it's been too long. You've been dropping the ball.
I already feel like I'm a million subscriber YouTuber, taking a month break when I need to, going offline for a bit. I'm already getting in.
They take. I was gonna say they take a month break when they've already put out all that content. We still have to turn more content out.
Once you work in, like, once you have that mindset, the other stuff will come naturally, bro. We are successful already. Don't worry about it. Uh, but yeah, my straw hat's also missing. Primarily because again, my sister got married and my house is in a mess. So once I get everything back in order, I will be myself. I'm also wearing shades because it's 2:30 a.m. where I'm at. I'm My eyes are looking dead. So just to give you guys a youthful One Piece uncle, I'm wearing these shades. Thank you for understanding, everyone. This is your host, One Piece Uncle, joined by your co host, One Piece Dada, here to discuss chapter 1069. Let's just go through it, man, because the last few weeks since Egghead started, no one expected this pacing to happen. The kind of pacing Oda's showed us, no one was expecting this, right? Like, even in the cover stories, we finally see Judge and Caesar meeting in 1067-68, and now in 1069 we get to see, I think, what will be the start of the flashback of Mads and how they were created. We can see that Lone Shark Dufeld. Oh, Hatim's going through an earthquake, I think.
Yeah. My my camera fell.
That's all right. We wanted to be closer to your beautiful face anyway, bro.
Yeah, I just cut that part
We
out.
were too far. I'll I'll leave it in. But yeah, this is the start of, I think, what's gonna be the beginning of the flashbacks of Mads. We can see that they were never evil to begin with. They have a pacifist kind of flag waving on the ship, which is, I think, the play on words that Vegapunk made for Kuma, the pacifistas. I think it all plays into that, and I'm looking forward to see how Mads was created and how they've become evil from then on. Because the type of inventions that Caesar and Judge are making are far from peaceful. As you can see in the caption, the laboratory of peace. Like, what do you think, dude?
I'm thinking. I'm wondering who the loan shark that's in the front. Like what was the purpose of Mads? I'm just wondering if when we get that flashback that you were talking about, like we'll get that flashback. Let's see, um, exactly why they what they disagreed on the most, judging by Vegapunk's personality and the personalities of Caesar and Judge. I'm very interested to see what philosophies that they completely disagreed on, and what was Caesar's and Judge's goal as being a part of Mads.
What I'm thinking is that were they even part of the original Mads, or did they join later and that's what corrupted
Yeah,
everything?
yeah, and I see what you were saying about the Fista terminology coming because that flag is at the top. That's a really good catch. That's probably the case.
Yeah, we've seen the loan shark Lufelder before at the tea party. So this is not the first time we're seeing him, and hopefully it won't be the last of seeing more of the underworld characters because they're all super interesting. But
Yeah, there are.
the cover story I thought was going to end a couple chapters ago when they were finally when the Yonji, Ichichi, Niji, Sanji, Yonji, Ichichi, Niji, Reiju were all back at the G106 castle, but it looks like it's still going strong. I'm super hyped for this cover story, dude. But yeah, what were we saying?
Um, well, I didn't say anything else. I think. No, what my main thing is with this cover story, it feels like this cover story might be one of the few that actually is gonna completely tie in with the main story. And it's possible that we that the Strats will see this ship. We want. I wonder how it'll fit into the whole thing with Elbaf and everything too. But like all of them coming together should be an interesting thing.
To be honest, I can't even think about Elbaf right now with the way this chapter is pacing out. We'll talk about that later. But yeah,
It could be even before Elbaf, honestly. Like it might be maybe this ship comes to Vegapunks now. We don't really know. We've never really had a situation where the cover story completely intertwines with the current story.
no, we've had before.
We have?
Remember, Law Blackbeard's fight. They uh, Aokiji and the other, I think it was Van Augur captured Pudding. And then in the
Oh yeah,
same
yeah,
cover
yeah.
story, later we find out that Pudding is in Blackbeard's ship when he was encountering Law. I forgot the chapter number, but that's all already happened. So this is definitely very closely tied to the story, and we're gonna see a lot more intertwining of both of these than before. But yeah, the other super cool thing I found in this chapter is Luffy and his crew getting a lot more respect that they truly deserve. When when basically CP0 started invading the island, and who was it? I think Kaku was saying that we cannot engage them yet because they're officially a Yonko crew.
Yeah, it was
So
Kaku.
yeah, it was Kaku, right? So that's a super hype moment for Luffy and the crew because even though they're a new Yonko crew, that doesn't mean that they shouldn't get the respect they deserve, and they still have a fleet, and it just shows the politics of the One Piece world because if you think back to the Marineford incident, they needed permission to engage Whitebeard, and that Whitebeard encounter became a worldwide phenomenon. So this is something no less with Luffy and the crew and other Yonkos. Like I'm just happy to see this, honestly.
Yeah, I think that was a good. I when I read that, I was like, okay, that's good actually that that was put in because we want to show that the crew is actually considered to be Yonko. Like it's not just a name. Like the world government respects it that he's a Yonko crew that you can just engage with him without permission from the higher ups.
Super hype moment. I just wanted to just a minute on that recognition. Also, bro, one word. I need your reaction. Kizaru, what's happening?
Kizaru coming. So I think this Oda might be tying in the technology to actually be able to hit light in with Kizaru coming to the island. If he actually reaches there in time, we might see that technology being used maybe by like some a character that we unexpected like Frankie or something. Like we don't know that might actually team up to try to can use that technology to harm him.
How so? Like, what do you mean technology? Like, are you talking about the hologram stuff?
Yeah, because you know how they have the holograms, like they're able to hit the holograms which are made out of light. The technology that Vegapunk used to hit the holograms would be the same technology you can hit with Kizaru. They're both light.
Or the photonic gloves?
Yeah,
That,
yeah, the photonic
that,
gloves.
that's what you're talking about. I didn't think about that honestly. Kizaru is that oxymoron character, right? Where he's the speed of light, but he's also slow as hell. Like he likes to take his time. So if he wants to reach in on time, he can. It just depends on his motivation.
Does Frankie have hockey though?
No.
Yeah, so if he doesn't have Haki, then that will come in handy. But I feel like eventually, like the whole crew should have Haki, but that's a different story for another day.
I think the crew will get the photonic gloves as a power up, or Frankie will learn how to make them, and he'll give them the crew, and he'll give these gloves to the crew, especially Sanji. I I I see a okay. So here's with my thing with Kizaru, right? I was watching Morge's review, and I think one of his fans on his Patreon mentioned that this is shaping up to be another Sabaudi incident, right? Where uh, before we had in Sabaudi we had Kizaru, Sentomaru, Kuma, and the Straw Hat crew all getting, and the Straw Hat crew getting absolutely dicked down. They were like that was their worst point in their history as a crew. But now the tables are turning, right? Like the Straw Hats are finally uncles, and we're going to see the same characters back on Egghead, but the dynamic is going to be different. Kizaru is going to be on the world government side. Sentomaru is now officially on the Straw Hat side, and Kuma. So that's what I. This also ties into the Kuma question I have. Like, where is Kuma going next? That's a question I had from 1067, 68. Like, he's just been rushing, and he just uses Paw Fruit to teleport somewhere. Where is he teleporting? I think he's teleporting to Egghead because I think he must know that Bonnie's there, or he must have gained some kind of consciousness again to finally meet Vegapunk. There's something on Egghead that he wants to reconcile before he dies.
If he goes because Bonnie's there, that would actually be a perfect tie-in to Vegapunk mentioning that you can't completely like take out the will and desires of living organisms. So even though Kuma, like at the beginning when when they met the Lilith version of Vegapunk, like that would be a very good tie-in and just show that even though Kuma's still a robot, like he still has his he still has a few desires and stuff that Vegapunk couldn't actually remove.
Oh yeah, that was in the beginning of Egghead.
Yeah, so that would
Yeah,
be a really nice tie-in to that statement made.
it's crazy. Kizaru's on the way too. That's I'm looking forward to him fighting Sanji more than anything. That's just my
I feel
opinion.
like I
Frankie
feel
would be
like
a cool
that
fight, but
the thing is, I don't know how that crew and stuff, and I don't want to get too ahead, but like maybe I should just leave this off for a little bit later because we still want to go through the whole chapter. So let's leave
right.
just let me leave that thought for a little bit later.
Yeah. Uh, we also wanted to talk about the fact that Lucci has showed his awakened zone fruit, and from the internet, what I've read is that a lot of people were salty about this because they never saw Kaido, who's a ancient zone, like a he was never awakened, but Lucci has a cat fruit, like a it's not an ancient zone or anything special, but he was able to awaken it. Like the black flames and all are just throwing people off. Like why didn't Kaido ever awaken his fruit? And I think an explanation I saw online which suits Kaido very well is that he was just too drunk to realize his full potential, and I think that makes a lot of sense, honestly. And Lucci looks like a badass dude. Like it's crazy. I didn't think he would get any better from any slobby, and he just got 100 times better.
Yeah, but I think that's good for his character because he's a very popular character, and a lot of people like his character. That it wouldn't make sense for him to be the type of person who's literally the same power level that he was in Enies lobby. Like that's more than two. That's 2 plus years that have gone by.
Right.
I'll say that one
No.
thing about the Kaido thing. It is a very weird thing that Oda didn't add the awakened fruit, and I think it's potentially because of time constraints. Honestly, more than anything, I feel like just because if he added the awakened fruit, then he would have to draw out the battle to probably like 10, 15 chapters because Kaido would automatically be stronger. But that's more of a out of universe. In universe, I think fine. He was too drunk to he's usually always drinking, or he didn't. Maybe he didn't need it because he already had Conqueror's Haki. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, he had COC and everything, so I don't know how Kaido would fit in, but people were just a little thrown aback by the awakened zone fruit. That's all. Kind of interesting to see. Uh, Luffy going to Gear 5. I think I think I also saw this somewhere online where someone said that Oda probably just wants to have fun with Gear 5 now. He drew out Gear 4 a lot during in Dressrosa and the starting of Wano. So I think now that he's showed everyone Gear 5, he's just going to use Gear 5 from here on out. I think Gear 4 and all the other gears are pretty much done for.
I don't.
It's
I just don't think he needs to use Gear 4 or any other gear at this point because Gear 5 is like a natural progression of his Devil Fruit, so it's not. I don't think it's particularly extra taxing or anything. So it gives him. It's more flexible. It's like getting a power up. It's like the best of all other gears, except
yeah.
even more.
This episode has already gone up to like 15, 16 minutes, and we haven't talked about Devil Fruits at all, dude. Like, the
Oh
Devil
wow.
Fruit discussion was just crazy. Like, I know you have the official Viz translation, so can you? I want to know what you think about the explanation that Vegapunk's given on his theory on the Devil Fruits, and like, what do you think, dude?
You want me to read it out?
However you want. Just I want to know where you're at with the
Well,
Devil Fruit explanation and theory.
well, just like I'm just gonna read a few like the few sentences that he says. Every devil fruit is a possibility for human evolution that someone desired. If and then he said, but that unnatural status is loaded by the sea, the mother of nature, and it also says, those with powers exist in different dimensions, dreamed up by someone else before them. So I think those statements are very, very interesting. My guess, from my understanding of what Vegapunk is saying, is that basically someone at the beginning had a dream, and that will's being passed down. Which, again, many YouTubers, Joy Boy, Morge, many YouTubers talk about that the inherited will as a big concept. So having the devil fruits being basically inherited will fits into that concept and fits into the fact that um, um, Sabo got the mentioned like Ace is not gonna forgive what's his name? It's slipping my mind. Jesus Burgess and attacked him, and he made that statement. So there seems to be like some concept there, and that dream is still hidden. My only question is, what's the true inception though? Because how is it possible that someone's will just went into a fruit? Like we need that kind of explanation too, because we know it cycles. So like, is it like, was it a regular fruit before and someone ate it, and did they have enough haki or something, and that resulted in the fruit becoming what it was, or like what? We don't really understand that concept, like the full inception, the true beginning of it.
Someone explained online again. I want to quote everyone, but it's difficult to keep up when there are so many creators talking about this.
Yeah.
Someone said that maybe Oda's being, or maybe Vegapunk's being very meta here, right? Like he's saying that it comes from another dimension. What if he realizes that they're all in a One Piece story, and Oda is the creator, and the other dimension is actually Oda creating the Devil Fruits for the One Piece universe, essentially. And I think that's something very meta, and that might be the explanation on the inception of the Devil Fruit, right? Like going back to the Sun God Nika, like after the world government destroyed the ancient kingdom and they have their tyrannical rule, slaves have been wishing for freedom, and after a certain point when there's enough demand for that freedom, maybe Oda was like, here you go, like take this god fruit. Someone will come along and give you the freedom that you desire. Maybe not now, maybe centuries later, but like that's where I think the inception might come in the sense that it's a very meta explanation on how they were actually created. We still don't have an explanation on the inception, like you said, but that could be like a meta way of thinking about it. The
I
extra dimension.
Yeah, I really like that. Like, I actually like that. That's a very unique concept. I don't think many stories really have that. So that would be really interesting if Oda's basically, well, like he's like, well, I'm the god of this universe, so I created Devil Fruits, and they're there. Basically, that's it. That's all. That's basically his in universe, out of universe explanation that fits it all. That you're right. That Vegapunk knows that there's actually a higher being he might even break the fourth wall eventually and realize that this is just a story and someone else has the power to create these devil fruits. That would be a cool concept.
But I really like the idea of the devil fruits being created based on people's dreams and desires, because that's the whole narrative of One Piece, right? Like inherited will, and also uh, having the willpower. And this is actually something I want to talk about. Like a lot of creators have now started the debate on, is haki stronger than devil fruit, right? Like devil fruit is just the desire of someone, whereas the haki comes from willpower. And we've seen people with, like Shanks, for example, he's only haki. Gold Roger, only haki, and they're the top two in the verse right now. So I think haki still trumps devil fruits, but the fact that devil fruits are just the desire and the in inherited will being passed on from generation to generation is something that's really unique to One Piece's power scaling and power structure and everything. Like I just really like the explanation, even though again it's just a theory. We still don't know the actual reasoning.
Yeah, but I'll say with with your thoughts, like the haki and devil fruit debate, I would say exactly. I agree with you. Haki is definitely on top of devil fruits, and I watched a video Morge talked about, and he made a good point that having haki and devil fruits as dreams and willpower makes sense, and that you really need those two things to really succeed. But I think in the end of the day, what haki users always being stronger, and you can actually harm devil fruits, is that willpower will always be greater than just having a dream, right? Like in you can be a doctor, but if you don't have the willpower to actually push forward, then it doesn't matter how much you dream it, it's not gonna happen. You need that willpower. So that willpower of haki is always gonna trump devil fruits just because of that. A dream is just a dream until you act on it.
I feel like just ending the episode here, bro. That was a like a mic drop kind of sentence, dude. Like I like that a lot. But no,
Well, we
the show
can't.
must go on.
The show must go on. There's still the actual battle and what we're expecting to, discuss with all that.
Because it's break week, Hatem and I have a couple of ideas to for other One Piece discussions on Vegapunk. Maybe we can have a whole fleshed out video on Devil Fruits itself, because there are so many weird Devil Fruits in the verse that I need an explanation on. Like everyone has brought up, all the creators I've seen have brought up a jacket fruit, and who the hell is desiring being a jacket? But like no one has question. Like basically, I'm still like confused on Wapo's Devil Fruit. Like who wants to eat anything they want to see, like, and then become that? Like they
Well,
literally
okay,
take you become like, oh, what's that saying? You are what you eat. Like they
you
literally
yeah.
desire that.
Yeah. So I that's a good point, and I think we should save that for another video because I really want to talk about Blackbeard and the concept of devil fruits and everything, and I'm very interested into dive into that. So we can keep that off for take note of that and discuss devil fruits and that concept because I think you're right. It's really weird, and who would have desired this, and what does that actually mean, or what did the people try to accomplish having that devil fruit?
I feel like Just a short note. My opinion. I haven't done any research on this, but I feel like Blackbeard's fruit might be one of the god fruits as well, like one of the nature fruits, like the Mother Nature one, Sun God Nika. I think it's the Yami Yami no Mi is too OP not to be a god fruit.
Yeah, but keep your theories to yourself because we want to give the viewers a little bit and them to come back. So we'll keep that for later.
That's just my sneak peek for you guys.
Yeah, keep
Hopefully, we
that as
get
a
this
sneak
video
peek.
out. We have so many ideas, but we never
Yeah,
do anything. So
no, we'll do it. We're gonna do it. The shadi's over, your sister's wedding's over. We can keep that time. I have 3 weeks, and you just have work, and I have my internship. Like we can keep those topics, and we'll make sure to take note of it.
definitely, the actual battle between Luffy and Lucci is super cool. Luffy is just messing around with him. He's not taking Lucci seriously at all. The panel of the head is really funny. Like him moving his head around. That's Tom and Jerry type vibes, bro. Like honestly.
Yeah, he literally has like people call it Toon Force. Like that's literally what he is. He's an actual literal cartoon in an anime.
I think that's what Oda was going for, like the 1920s Mickey Mouse kind of animation style with Luffy's Gear Fifth, which is going to be really interesting to see in the anime when they finally animate it next year.
Yeah, but like just the fight itself is it's very weird. Like in the way of the nature of the fighting, it's nothing like Enies Lobby at all. Like it's not even close.
No, so that's why I feel like Messi, fucking World Cup's on my mind right now. That's why I feel like Luffy um, is just messing around with Lucci, and I feel like when Kizaru pulls up, there's going to be a shift in the battles, and Zoro might be the one taking on Lucci, and Sanji takes on Kizaru, and I think Luffy might be the one helping Vegapunk escape on the ship or whatever, however they decide to escape. I
Even
don't
for
see
Zoro
Luffy
though,
fighting Lucci. I don't know.
I don't see Lucci beating Luffy or Zoro or even Sanji. I just don't see it. Like even for how strong that they are, I highly doubt it. But maybe he could give Sanji and Zoro maybe somewhat of a fight, but I don't know. We haven't seen his full recognition. We just know that he's stronger, and he's somewhat keeping up with Luffy. So he's definitely trained a lot.
The reason why I want to see the Sanji versus Kizaru fight is that I think someone has said somewhere that Sanji has the best observation haki in the verse, and he's almost like up there in terms of his own speed. And we know Kizaru is the fastest man because of speed of light, right? So I want to see that speed fight. Like, how do they fare versus each other? That is going to be a super interesting fight in terms of their speed. And Zoro, Lucci will be a good test too. I think it's. I don't think it's Zoro cleans him up easily. It's not like zero diff. I think it's gonna be like between mid diff or like high diff. Zoro Lucci. Hmm.
Maybe the thing is, I'm more interested in the Seraphim of like I think that's possible and it'll be interesting. But I think the main actual thing is gonna be interesting, and what's gonna make Zoro very like aware of is the Mihawk Seraphim fighting him and seeing if he can beat him.
Oh crap! I forgot about the Seraphim, dude. Like, oh yeah. So let's just talk about the fact that my guy Lucci stabbed Sentomaru, and that's what I like about Lucci a lot. Like, he's not like a NPC. He's not like a sheep. He's smart. Like, if he knows something's up, he'll do something about it, or like he has the critical thinking. He's questioning Lulusia. He basically deduced that Sentomaru is the next command in line for the Seraphim to take orders. So he's just like, I gotta take we gotta take Sentomaru out, and then the Seraphim will listen to us. So the battle has already shifted back to the CP0's favor with the three Seraphim under their belt. But if we can get one of the six Vegapunks to come back and instruct the Seraphim again, so then I don't know how the Seraphim will play into the battle right now. It's just a very interesting dynamic at the moment.
I think the main thing is with that is like yes, and Morge mentioned this that one Lucci doesn't actually have any morals at all. Like he's horrible. Like he just wants to kill. So he really doesn't care if Sentomaru's dead or not. World government, pirate. It doesn't really matter. That's like irrelevant to him. But
Yep.
what I think the Seraphim will really show is where the Strats are actually at because the Seraphim are almost the level of the Warlords. So let's see if they actually can keep up with them because we know that they're strong, and even Blackbeard hesitated against them. So let's see actually how strong they are and how much training did they really actually need at this point.
I think they're bigger now. They're not the kid Seraphim that they were when they first fought Blackbeard. I think they've grown up a little bit because we see Jinbei, and and these kid Seraphims are already huge. Like they were bigger than Jinbei, and they're not even grown yet. So it just got if like Akainu said, if Vegapunk has joined the Straw Hat side, it's a huge blow to the world government. That's a fact. They've poured so much resources into creating these Seraphims, and if Vegapunk joins Luffy, which he definite, which he has at this point, it's going to be very tough for the world government to come back from that, unless they find a way to wipe out the Seraphim and then start from scratch.
Yeah, I don't know if they should worry. Like, I don't know if Vegapunk, if he's actually going with Luffy. I don't think he'll have the technology to make something Seraphim level, and he might not even. But it's definitely a loss to the world government. But they still have what they have either way. Like, you
They
can't
have,
deny that. I think they have what they have.
oh,
They can't. You can't take it
they
away.
have what they have, but they don't have the Seraphim because the, the one who can control the Seraphim at the top of the chain is Vegapunk. I think. Let me check the order. Who's at the top? The five elders are at the top, then Dr. Vegapunk.
Yeah.
Okay, so if the five elders are in the same room, then okay, the Seraphim are on the world government side. Very interesting, like. And then the chapter ends with Sentomaru dying. And yeah, break week.
Yeah, they can't. They can't do it. They mentioned they can't do it over transponders now too. So that's like a really big thing. So I don't know. Maybe we see the five elders actually come on the battlefield so they can control the Seraphim. We don't know. That old guy always has the sword.
It'll take the five elders a long time to get to Egghead.
Well, not
Egghead's really
necessarily.
far.
I'm not saying necessarily Egghead, but I'm saying like for the end game too, like just so they have that control over him.
Yeah, so the Seraphim are on the world government side at this point.
Unless they
At
can
the end
figure
of the
out,
day.
unless Mads, that's where the Mads connection could come, like with the cover story, that Mads actually can change. If Vegapunk's joining Luffy, then maybe they get Caesar Clown or Judge to actually, and anyone who's left of Mads, if there's anything left of them, to change the Seraphim's authority and make them at top as opposed to Vegapunk.
This is truly One Piece madness, man.
A
Honestly.
lot, a lot of probable situations.
The issue with the 1067-68 was that it was just, I think, set up and built up for this chapter.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. That's
We we
all it
we were
was.
gonna discuss those in depth, but like, I feel like it all lends into this chapter. So it's just insane.
Yeah, we can discuss again after. At the end, we will discuss for all our viewers to know that we'll discuss specifically on Vegapunk and anything else in the previous build up of Egghead that we feel like should be discussed as its own, like more focused on that character or topic.
Yep. But I just got a sound from my headphones that they're gonna die. So I think it's a good time to end this chapter, this episode as well, before I get cut off from you guys. Thank you for watching, listening, whatever you're doing. Uh, Stay safe, and we're gonna see you guys really soon. Take care, guys. Peace.